the first place. He put hard times on Dusty Rhodes and his family. Hard times are when the textile workers around this country are out of work. They got 4 or 5 kids and can't pay their wages, can't buy their food. Hard times.
You know that I'm the cream of the crop.
It doesn't matter what your name is.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass.
Woo! I tore them all down.
And I came here for one reason. To attack and keep coming.
I did this for The Rock.
You will rest in peace.
I asked you 1,000,000 times to join the NWO, or you would be born alive.
Shut your mouth, you thong-wearing fatty.
Bang, bang. And what's it gonna do when Hulkamania run wild on you?
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
Yeah! I will ride in nothing but limousines, and I will make love to nothing but the best of the women in the world.
You don't know what hard times are, Daddy.
You will know that your ass is mine.
Bang, bang.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. You got a championship belt? I don't.
That's right, I'm a Paul Heyman guy.
When Ric Flair's in town, showtime. Woo!
Sweet. My belly's just a little big, my honey's just a little big, but brother, I am bad and they know I'm bad.
Beat me if you can survive if I let you.
Orderly! It is Rolex time for the Raven.
You just made the list!
Who do beat, brother?
It's too big that sucker. I am the game. The whole show.
If I can be serious for a minute.
You son of a bitch. Brock Lesnar. Damn.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
Oh, you didn't know? I mean, you're the Donald Trump of wrestling. You make Steven Spielberg look like a guy running 8mm films in a garage someplace. Will you stop?
You don't want to recognize my belt, huh? You don't recognize my belt. I think you're a liar. I think you're a flat out, straight up, lying, crying bitch.
I wouldn't mind being sedated either. I don't know about you guys, but I wouldn't mind. What is going on, everybody? It is Wednesday night. It is the Dirt Sheet Dudes. Thank you so much for joining us. Not like you have anywhere else to go, or like the song says, nothing to do, nowhere to go. So appreciate y'all joining us, taking some time. That's it for that part. And, of course, across from me, those two fucking maniacs. That is Anthony and Smart. What is up, motherfuckers?
What's going on? I like to give you guys a rundown, but you know, quarantine, everything's closed, curfew. I looked out my window, went outside, said, "Mine looks nice out." Cop came up to me. How the hell do you know? And I promptly went back in. Okay.
See,
good shit.
They tricked us here. They didn't give us a curfew, but every place closes down at 8:00. Grocery stores, everything. So they kind of forced a curfew on us either way. You know,
I do think it's funny. Not funny. It's kind of makes me wonder about what the future is going to look like. So our local busing system here in Philly, SEPTA, basically has gotten so bad to where instead of getting on the front, you know how you get on a bus, you pay, blah blah blah, can't get on the front anymore. You now have to enter at the rear. And until further notice, free rides.
You know, some people pay more to enter at the rear. I just want you to know that, Anthony.
Yeah.
I don't know if you knew that or not, but some people pay for that. And now everyone that's riding the bus. But that's smart. What's going on in your town?
Well, there's also a lot of rear entering free ride. I mean, like I said, we're pretty much like 15 years behind civilization anyway, so it's going to be a while before we catch up.
Oh, all right. There you go. Yeah, that's kind of like when I go out to East Texas. About the same way. But anyway, like we said, appreciate everybody joining us tonight. We do have some Raw to talk about. And, of course, some AEW. A little bit of AEW news. And we will get into Mania predictions Friday. I promise we will. Just no reason to do it tonight. And I got to be up early tomorrow, so no reason.
Just in case.
Yeah, we'll do it Friday. Who knows? They could add 2 more matches by then, or they could change a match. Who the fuck knows? Unless they've taped it all already. I don't know. No one knows. It's all up in the air from here. But so there we go on that note. And I guess we can go ahead and knock plugs out of the way and then talk some wrestling. What do you think, guys?
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do this then. Let me get some music behind me. Here we go. I got just the song. Probably not, but what the hell. There we go. Anyway, once of course, what the hell happened up there? Give me one sec. All right, of course, shout out to Wrestling OD. That is the Wrestling Overdose. Check out his Patreon. Just dropped an episode, I think, today. Probably going to drop one maybe later today, tomorrow. But you're going to be getting more from Shaheen. Check out patreon.com/Wrestling Overdose. And check out all of Shaheen's art over there, nuclearheatshop.com. Check out ShareShot Tees and Clothesline, what was it? Clotheslinemedia.com, right, Anthony?
Yes, sir.
That's clotheslined with a D. Clotheslined, past tense. And start checking that out. You're going to see more of his stuff going up on there. Also, once again, Shaheen, the breakout star of 2020 on this show. And, of course, check out the High Marks. That is Cheeseman Mojo and G-Wiz over there. Definitely check those guys out. And, of course, always a shout-out, Bobby Anthem and Bobby Blades. Love saying that name. The Inhuman Experience. Check them out on all the usual podcast platforms. And, of course, Unscripted Wrestling Podcast, same thing. All the usual. That's Eric, Doug, and Daniel over there. And, of course, shout out to Stephen Milan for sharing the show. Letterboxd, BOXD.com/Stephen Milan. One word, 2 L's in Milan. And, of course, all the shows, including ours. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review, follow, whatever you want to do. But definitely review. Anthony, wrap it up.
Bottom Line Pro Wrestling Podcast. Jason Clark. Subscribe, download, enjoy. It's available. Fine podcast platforms such as TuneIn Radio, iHeart, Stitcher, and Google Play.
All right. There you go. Fun stuff. Wrestling. All right.
Enjoy it. I feel like we're on the... You got a government shutdown.
Yeah.
We've had government shutdowns. We've had Wall Street shutdowns. Wrestling survived a lot, but I got a feeling that if I had to guess, I would say at least a month. At least a month without original content. What you guys think?
I think we're heading that way. I definitely think we're heading that way. And there's nothing we can do about it. Not a goddamn thing we can do about it. So, meanwhile, I mean, it wasn't that bad this week. I actually thought Raw had some really good promos, which we'll play 1 or 2 of those. I don't know. Smark, what do you think there?
Yeah, it wasn't so bad. Got through everything pretty quickly and painlessly.
Sorry, guys. Just trying to fix my mic over here. Get it a little better over here. There we go. So, yeah. All right. Well, you know what then? Let's go ahead and get into Raw. What do you guys say?
Sounds good.
I really only have a few things on Raw I want to get into. I do want to start with that Taker promo, though. Guys, first of all, looks like the American Badass is back.
Yes.
Well,
it was
honestly.
No. It was a good promo.
No,
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Right now, with no crowd out there, Undertaker is a crowd character. No crowd. who's going to give a shit? I like that he's doing this right now, and I fucking love this promo. They're getting fucking real. They're going shoot names and everything.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Taker, like, in the second half of his life is really surprising me. Like, he went from ultra super protective of the gimmick. Now that he's at that point, I don't give a fuck. Anytime, I never thought I would hear the words faith breaker and ass clown come out of the Undertaker's mouth. I've been following this guy since day one. Just to hear those words come out of his mouth on air it was surreal to me. Like I said, fantastic promo, but man, just caught me off guard with a couple of those lines. And my wife, Michelle McCool. My wife, Michelle McCool.
Well,
it was funny to me. I'm sorry. It was funny.
Well, the American Badass ain't afraid to go with it, man. So go ahead, Smart.
It was kind of weird that he decided to say it like Borat, though. Like, I mean, it's a couple years too old for that joke. No, I like it too. It just seems a lot more. I don't know if this was always the plan from the beginning or not, but having him kind of do more of the American Badass thing versus the Dead Man thing seems like it works better because, like you said, it's not as crowd dependent.
Right.
So it's a lot more subdued, and it just seems more personal than it does like I said, there's not like elaborate effects and like fake lightning bolts hitting fucking ring posts and shit like that. It actually seems like two people that actually want to fight each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And the whole Taker promo is 3 minutes and 47 seconds. I was going to play it.
Fuck it. Play it. It was good. It was good shit.
I think so too. So yeah, I was going to go ahead and play it. Let's do it.
AJ Styles. Or should I say, Alan Jones. I mean, since we're being real now. You know, for such a small man, you got a really big mouth. And I don't know if you have a big set, or you're just really that stupid. Either way, your mouth's writing checks your ass can't cash. I'm sure you thought by dropping some pipe bombs, you'd get under my skin. Son, I've heard a lot worse from far better than you. And although I must admit there are some truths to what you've been saying. You said maybe 10, 15 years ago, you probably wouldn't want to try me. You're damn right you wouldn't want to. You were content being a big fish in a little pond. Because you knew back then you didn't have what it takes to hang with The Undertaker, Stone Cold, The Rock, Shawn Michaels, Triple H, Kurt Angle, Mick Foley, Eddie Guerrero, Booker T, Edge, the very best this business had to offer. The phenomenal one, my ass. You waited till they were all gone. Except for me. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I've got far more matches behind me than I do in front of me. But Alan, you stepped in something now there's no coming back from. Your foolish pride is making really bad decisions for you. All the things you said about me, I get it. I do, it's just business. Where you crossed the line, though, was the first time you mentioned her. I think your pride is playing games with you again. I think you're mad because she does the faith breaker, a.k.a. the Styles Clash, better than you do. She got it over. No matter the reason, you're going to pay the ultimate price for disrespecting her. My wife, Michelle McCool. And you're going to pay that price in a boneyard. Remember, that was your idea. You want to be relevant at the Showcase of Immortals, WrestleMania. And who better to make that happen than The Undertaker? Try me. I'll make you famous. And I hope you bring those two ass clowns, Gallows and Anderson, with you. All three of you can feel the wrath of the unholy trinity I'm bringing with me. Just know You will feel the pain. You will get hurt. And you will suffer. And most importantly, you will rest in peace.
There we go. Great promo, man. I fucking love that shit. I don't know, man. I gotta tell you, I think Raw had a lot of good promos. It really did.
I feel like one positive out of a unfortunate situation are these promos. I really hope that once things get back to normal, and they will at some point, they need to stick to this format when it comes to promos. Because I almost feel like as much as a crowd adds to the presentation of pro wrestling and actual match and all that stuff, I feel like not having a crowd for some of these promos and allowing the guys to actually focus on what they're saying, you don't got to worry about the what bullshit and yay, boo, and all. People can actually focus in. You feel like they're talking to you one-on-one.
Right.
And I hope they kind of like stick to this format a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind it either. I wouldn't mind more of these backstage, pre-recorded promos that they can really nail. They have time. They can fucking nail it. All right, let's do it again. Oh, no. Let's do that one more time. That's great. There's no
just turn
problems.
the crowd down. Just turn the crowd noise down. Every backstage thing doesn't require a crowd reaction.
I think more pre-recorded. What do you think, Smart?
Yeah, I'm all for the pre-recorded. It's just more so than anything, once it actually everything gets back to normal, stop doing that shit where right in the middle of the pre-recorded segment they cut to people eating popcorn. Like, you don't need that. Like, just leave the pre-recorded segments as they are and just, play them in the arena or whatever, but you don't have to show us the people in the arena reacting to them.
No, we know how they're reacting. We can see it. We can hear it. That's fine. Yeah, we can hear it. It's good. But I everything about that promo was really fucking good. I honestly, that's one of the better promos I've ever heard from the Undertaker ever. Really, that was some Jake the Snake type shit right there, man.
And honestly, it's like this. Taker's never been a bad promo per se, but because he's so blunt and straight to the point with how he kind of presents his character.
Yeah.
It's like he's not over the top. He's not a Flair or an Austin. He's not necessarily going to grab you that way. He's just like blunt, straight to the point. So sometimes he flies under the radar and honestly doesn't get enough credit for some of his promos over the years.
I guess so.
That could also be a chicken and egg situation, though. Just like, yeah, it makes sense for somebody in his position to not talk quite as much. But then if he were to talk more, would he become potentially exposed? Because, it's kind of hard to screw things up when everything is kind of short, sweet, sound bites, concise, straight to the point. But when you're actually given the opportunity or the task to go on for 5-10 minutes, if he could actually be able to fill that kind of time. Because some of the longer ones I've heard him cut haven't necessarily been stellar, but when he does what he did like this week, it's just perfect.
Yeah, it really was perfect, man. Like I said, everything about it was good. I like that he brought up his wife. I like that he brought up the face breaker, and he even said she got it over.
I liked how he went all 8 Mile on AJ. Alan, this guy's a gangster. His real name's Alan.
Phenomenal, my ass.
Oh,
awesome!
Now, what did you?
Awesome.
Now, guys, what did you guys think about him? I don't want to say tearing AJ down, but when he said he basically implied that he wasn't as good as his era. You know the Shawns, the Kurts, the Edges. Like, you could have came here a long time ago, but you were scared. Because you didn't think you could measure up to that level of talent, so you preferred to be a big fish in a small pond. And I love how after all these years, still got to take those subtle digs at TNA.
Meanwhile,
those will never get old to me because I Lord knows I've made them myself. But man,
yeah. Meanwhile, they're the only ones that they're showing crowds because they've got so many fucking shows taped. They're the only ones with crowds right now. So
and somebody actually, I wish I remember the gentleman's name so I can give him proper credit. But they had posted up a picture of a recent Impact show with a crowd. They said, "Let the record show that for the first time in history, Impact will have drawn a bigger house than a WrestleMania."
Oh God!
Don't get me wrong. It looked like it was about 20 people deep, but it still'll be more than WrestleMania.
Hey, you put those 20 people together, put a microphone over there, they'll be fine. They'll be fine. But yeah, man, great starting promo. Really, I mean, you know, they obviously they went through the whole feud thing, which they always do, because you know it's Mania coming up, and that promo isn't the first time on this show that the kind of the fourth wall gets broken down.
But looking forward to it. Believe it or not, I think we all were kind of like down on the idea of Taker wrestling again. And who knows what the match is actually going to look like, but I'm actually curious about how they do this Boneyard match. And I'm actually glad that they're starting to add like different stipulation matches because of the circumstances. Yeah. Because given, you know, the whole no crowd thing, and it's no way you could do WrestleMania, especially with just straight wrestling matches. So I like the fact that they're dressing it up a little bit. You got a Boneyard match, got a Firefly Funhouse match. Try saying that 5 times fast. Got a last man standing match. So I like how there's going to be a lot of variety with this WrestleMania card, given the circumstances.
Yeah, which we will get into on Friday, along with the New Jack thing. Once again, I promise. I haven't watched.
Oh yes, that's an episode unto itself.
I haven't watched it yet. I have not watched it yet, but I will watch it tomorrow. I will. I'll watch it while I'm doing some work tomorrow. Definitely. We'll talk about that on Friday. Because I'm probably going to skip NXT this week too.
Wow.
Yeah.
You're savage, bro. You're savage.
I just don't care. All they're going to do is show fucking reruns. I don't care.
No, actually, no. They're going to start playing. They're actually going to, I'm going to try to watch it this week because I guess the TakeOver card that was is going to play out over the next few weeks. So I think this week they had a triple threat with Keith Lee, Priest, and Donovan Dijakovic. I might have that wrong, but I know it was Keith Lee's going to be in some type of triple threat. Then they're going to do like
all right, I'll watch the main event.
Yes, basically.
Okay. I'll watch the main
over
event.
the next couple of weeks they're going to do the takeover on NXT. So yeah, we might have to watch at least the main event of those shows.
I will. I'll watch the main event. I will. I'll do it. I'll fucking do it. Okay. If you're gonna force me, I'll do it.
See, folks, I have a little bit of stroke on this show, just a little bit. Not much, but a little bit.
All right, anything else on Taker there?
Just no. Fantastic promo. Hope we see. I don't know. Like, do you think we're going to get full on American Badass, or we're going to get like a weird hybrid? I'm thinking they're going to lean more towards Badass, just because Dead Man Taker's entrance basically is so. It relies on the crowd so much, and I feel like they kind of stepped in shit on this one, just because they realized you really can't do a Taker entrance proper in the Performance Center or wherever they're going to do this. So I'm guessing like they're going to lean more towards American Badass, but I got like a hybrid type of situation because he was dropping American Badass quotes in there, but he also threw in a little bit of a Dead Man Taker quotes in there.
Now, a question for both of you: are we getting Roland Fred Durst Badass, or are we getting I Am American Badass Kid Rock American Badass? Which American Badass are we going to get? That's the question.
I'm going to go neither. I'm thinking we're going to get Big Evil.
Shit.
Only because they own the rights to that song.
Bang, dead man walking.
I mean, I like Roland. I like Roland, but I don't think they're going to shell out the money to get that song back.
Kid Rock's probably looking for money. I think they forced him to shut his bar down. I don't know. Smart. Have you heard news about that? I know at one point he said it was unconstitutional, which I'm not disagreeing with him. But come on, dude, help out your fellow man. But yeah. So did they, Smart? They forced him to shut it down finally?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's in Nashville, by the way.
Right.
So yeah, I know a little bit about it. I haven't actually been there, but I have heard about it and saw the website and all that.
Well, I'm just figuring it's probably in your local stuff, your local news and shit. So that's why I asked you. Yeah. So yeah, there you go. So good. I'm glad he was forced to shut down. And I like Kid Rock. I ain't gonna lie, but Jesus Christ, sometimes sometimes fuck your rights. Just go home.
Yeah, just go. Yeah, so yeah. We're not gonna go on that rant. I'm just gonna say, the quicker motherfuckers learn how to follow basic ass directions, the sooner they'll get a handle on what's going on. The sooner people can get back to fucking normal. Mm-hmm. People bitching about the bird closed, breaking in the parks. You fucking morons, breaking in the fucking parks. Like what the fuck is wrong with you people? Stay home, please. Stay fuck home.
I don't know, man. People are crazy. But go ahead, Smart.
No, I was just actually saw people in parks around here, and it's just, ugh. Like, look, if now isn't the time to make up for, like, the 10 years of shitty parenting that you've already endured or been responsible for, don't just suddenly start taking your fucking ugly rat-faced kids to the park now. Fuck you and your family. Stay inside.
Dude, every dog park here is full. I had to go to work Monday. I didn't go to the office yesterday or today. I got to go tomorrow. But I went to the office, and every dog park they're all full, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? What the fuck?
Mm-hmm.
No one's quarantining. Yeah. No one. Dude, this is a vacation for a lot of people, man. I'm sorry, but again, I don't want to flow that way either. But you know what I mean. Totally off topic. But next thing we get is Becky pulling up in the truck again, and I do have a question, guys. Does she have a CDL for this?
She's the man. She don't need one.
No, she's illegally driving without a CDL. She does need a commercial driver's license for this, and without one, I believe she is breaking the law.
Well, that aside, I enjoyed this Becky Lynch promo. It was very to the point, wasn't over the top. I was a little bit like, this is the kind of the point where I kind of like, this is when my fast forward button got a bit of a workout. Because when she came out and she threw to the WrestleMania main event from last year, I'm thinking for sure it's just going to be like a abbreviated version, like a little highlight. These they literally replayed the whole match. The main event of last year's WrestleMania ate up the first 30 minutes of Raw. So this was the fastest Raw I've ever watched, even on a Hulu version.
Yeah, that went 3.5 commercial breaks. I don't know if you noticed, but I was fast forwarding the whole time, and I'm like, oh. I think I watched Raw in like 42 minutes. I'm like, I fucking love these. I love these shows right now. So, I'm loving this. But Shayna went out, kicked Becky's ass after Becky did do her little promo afterwards. Good little segment. I actually liked it. Then she literally just flung Becky into the side of the announcer's booth, which, again, Shayna's not like this technical fucking, wonder or anything, but she's believable. She's very believable. I'm not going to say she's great, but she is believable, and that makes her different than a lot of the other women out there, I hate to say, but she is. She's bigger than most of the other models that they have. I'll say it, models. And she's just looks like she will kick your ass. And she will.
Yeah.
And she will. So, It works. It works.
Yeah, that's what wrestling's supposed to be. Ass kickers. And I feel like it's inevitable. Her time is coming. Mm-hmm. Becky's time is almost, obviously Becky's always going to be a fixture, but I feel like at this point, her title runs on borrowed time. At this point. Has to be.
Yeah, you would think so. It's just going to, it's really going to suck having, if Shayna wins, no crowd, no reaction, just first big title. It's just going to be awful, man. I'm going to feel really bad for her, but it'll go away because I'm sure she'll be extremely happy either way.
Yeah, that's the I feel like that's like an underrated aspect that's been glossed over for a lot of people on this card, this is going to be like their first Mania in a prominent position. Mm-hmm. And I kind of feel sorry. I mean, look, I get why, you know, they didn't postpone, why they wanted to power through, because whatever's going on right now with this country, we don't know how long this thing's going to last. And they just wanted to get something out there in the event that they couldn't get to another Mania at some point later in the year. Mm-hmm. So I get why they're going along with it. But, man, if I'm Rhea Ripley or, you know, Shayna Baszler or Drew McIntyre, fucking main event, I feel bad for those guys, like, and girls, because first big opportunity, big crowd, and now they're going to be performing for no one, essentially, except for like the camera crew.
It seems like they're all starting to get used to the fact that they're only working towards the camera, except Aleister Black, who keeps fucking just looking at the crowd like someone's talking shit to him in the corner. Dude, there's no one there. No one's talking shit. You don't have to look. All right. Anyway,
now
looking at the camera, that would be a better idea, wouldn't it? Anyway,
now, Pops, if you'll indulge me,
I
want you to keep that energy.
Okay.
Because we all had to get into the first match of this card, the first match of Raw, the botch.
Well, the Aleister Black and Jason Cade match.
Well, that was a squash. I didn't think we were going to get into that.
Oh, okay. No. I didn't want to, actually. I wanted to get into the...
although I will say that was a smooth as silk black mass.
It was. It was.
And that was fucking amazing.
It was.
But it was a squash match, so I mean, it wasn't really much. It's not really much to break down there.
Well, you're right. And first of all, it looks like they're bringing up Austin Theory. I guess they needed to plug and play somebody, so they're like, oh, hey, guess what? This guy looks like, you know, he's got a good, you know, decent body and shit. Put him in there. Go ahead. Why not? But the match itself was Kevin Owens and the Street Profits against Seth Rollins, Angel Garza, and Austin Theory. Good match. Great fucking match. Is Montez Ford still alive? Does anybody know? Anybody know? Dude, the guy launched himself, and Austin Theory was way out of position. Granted, I'm not going to lie, Montez Ford looked like he was fucking diving from a fucking explosion. But I mean, literally, I could have been like, get to the chopper. You know, that's
No. Shout out to Austin Theory for an awesome, pun very much intended, impersonation of The Miz. Right there. I mean, clearly the Miz taught that guy well. Like, yeah, bro. Like, whenever you see somebody coming, you move.
Yeah.
Fuck that catching shit. You move out the way.
Now, we did have one issue. I mean, not an issue. Zelina Vega was in the way of the shot, but we heard the thud when he hit Montez Ford. They showed it. They could show it from the backside and they could show it from the other side, but Zelina got in the way of the camera when he landed. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, no, and she was. I saw like you saw like a little bit of Austin Theory's reaction. He looked concerned, and Zelina looked concerned. Even though you only saw her back, you could tell she was like, she wasn't selling like, she was like, oh shit, is this guy okay?
Yeah, she had the oh shit hands up, and but I did notice, and I'm sure both of you guys noticed that the ref did come down, and I guess he said I'm okay because the ref got right back in the ring. Didn't hang out there, just got right back in the ring.
Nope.
So Montez Ford, buddy, not everything has to be 120. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, and that's kind of like another reason why I really think that a shutdown would be the best, because it would suck for some. I mean, Andrade is another one. He's a guy that got hurt doing one. You're performing in front of nobody, folks. You know, Vince, do the right thing. Just shut down for a little while, because at this point, it would suck to have somebody get hurt under these circumstances on top of everything else that's going on. You know, shut down for a couple of weeks to kind of like, you know, find out where we're at with this and see, you know, how soon we can get back. But doing these shows right now, risking injury for essentially nobody, is kind of pointless.
Yeah, go ahead, Smart.
Yeah, well, I mean, as far as the dive goes, I feel like there's just kind of a lack of chemistry between the two, because it's like just watching, it's hard to gauge Ford, because Ford gets such fucking hang time. He's just he launches like nobody else can launch. The size and just the overall athleticism, agility, what have you. So I mean, yeah, I don't know, like, in terms of whether or not it's worth it to risk performing in front of people and potentially risking injury when there's no crowd there. I mean, I could see the argument either way. I don't think they're going to slow down. I don't think they're going to stop anytime soon. So I don't think anything's really going to change. But hopefully, everyone, if you're going to, basically work light anyway, maybe it is a better idea to not do it, to just cancel shows or take a hiatus or whatever. Because I feel like when you start almost trying to protect yourself more, I feel like you're almost at a higher risk to get injured. But I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, and we can sit here and say, "Oh, they're performing for nobody," but let's face it, there's still 1.5 to 2 million people still at home watching. They're maybe a little less this week. They did hit a historic low this week on the ratings, but again, man, I can't. People got so much more shit to worry about right now than wrestling. I mean, jobs.
Plus reruns, too. Let's be honest. A lot of these shows, like a good 50 to 60% of the shows now are made up of shit people have already seen.
Yeah. So, I mean, I really don't. I'm not going to shit on ratings. I'm not going to sit here and go, oh, WWE's tanking. Listen, ratings are what they are right now. People are just way too preoccupied with life to worry about wrestling, and I get it. I totally get it. But, I mean, they're still doing okay numbers. WWE ain't going nowhere. Can they take a hit like this? Sure. Did they want to? No. But I think they're hoping that Mania is still going to be a marketing, a good merchandising thing for them online. Listen, they were having like 20% off on replica titles. I know Shaheen was all over that shit. Like shitting on it. Not that's what he was doing.
He was literally all over, and there literally was shit.
Yes, yeah, he was shitting all over is what he was doing. But, yeah, man, I think they're still just hoping this is going to be a good online marketing thing for them, and they can still make a ton of money. But listen, it is what it is, I guess. I mean, listen, we're still getting it, and guys, it's just too big for one night.
And I don't know if you've heard, guys, like, Vince McMahon is not fucking chancing anything on this. In addition to being available on the WWE Network, in addition to still being available as a traditional pay-per-view, WrestleMania, first time ever, will be available on Fight TV.
Good idea.
They're taking pre-orders right now, and my God, to go on Fight TV's ad website and to see WWE alongside the likes of GCW is a visual I never thought I would see.
Now, WrestleMania is still going to be on the network, right? Because okay, so it's not going to be it's not the free network that they're going to be on. I got you.
Oh no. Yeah, that's the whole thing. They are. I think they released the old WrestleManias, some of the newer content, like the fluff pieces like Miz and Mrs. and Total Divas, Bellas, but like the legacy stuff, like the Raws and the SmackDowns, WCW, ECW, etc. That's still behind a paywall.
Yeah, and did I see correct that it was $60 for one night and $40 for the other? It's $100 to watch on traditional pay-per-view.
Yeah, a lot of the cable. I think they got it down to like $30 a night, which I still think is ridiculous. $60 for this type of WrestleMania, but apparently, like the cable companies were confused. They don't. They don't know how to charge for this.
People are worried about how they're going to pay bills. Now you got to worry about, well, just, add it to my bill. I'll figure out how to pay it later. Just, why can't they this one time just go, look, you know what? Both nights, $9.99, just like if you bought the network. One time. We're in a time of crisis right now. But no, Vince is like, charge them fucking as much as we can. Fuck off, man. Old ass.
I don't know, like, man. So who would you place the blame on there? Because I'm assuming because both of them are greedy fucks, both sides. Because when it comes to the pay-per-view companies, they still get like a bigger piece of the pie than WWE does. So whenever you see these prices hiked up to $70, say WrestleMania like it normally is $70. Out of $70 per person, I think the cable company will get probably about like 50, and WWE will get 20 per purchase. Mm-hmm. So that's why they hiked the price up. But I feel like under these circumstances, both sides should come to an agreement. Like, look, this is WrestleMania in name only. Just like $20 for the whole weekend. Something like that, because it's ridiculous to charge that type of money, and it's not going to be WrestleMania.
Yeah,
it's going to be WrestleMania name only. So I think that's kind of like ridiculous to charge people that type of money, and for separate nights, no less.
Yeah, and Antox, I know they're still a business. I tout that all the time. I know they're a business. I think a lot of times when I'm answering things, I think of the business side of it. But you also gotta. Sometimes you got to give a little to get a little, and I think this would be a good time to give a little. And fans may appreciate a lower price in these trying times, and they'd probably get a lot more people buying it if they did something like that. If they went to $10, or you know what, even like Anthony said, $10 a night, I'd actually be fine with that. $9.99 a night, that's even fine too. I know they got shit to pay, but you know what? What are you going to do? What are you going to do, man? I mean, it's just bullshit in my opinion. I understand it's still a business. I get it. Businesses give shit away all the time. WWE gives us shit all the time. They don't give anybody who paid for the network from day one shit, but they give everyone else shit all the time. So that's all I'm saying. Smart, please.
I totally agree. I mean, but never underestimate never underestimate how prevalent corporate greed is. I mean, that's basically all it is. And like, I don't know. I wonder if they're almost, in a sense, trying to keep it the same price to sort of present the kind of idea or the illusion that it is going to be the same quality that it would be any other year. But we know that just isn't true. Like, it might still be a good show, who knows, but you're not getting the same thing you would normally get if you put down the same type of money you would, if the same money you spent last year, the same money they'd be charging you the year after for something like this. Like, it's a reduced product. It's just a factual statement. There's not going to be the same type of elaborate pyro or stage or, like the musical numbers, which, like, thank God for that, I suppose. But, you're not getting the same experience that you would be getting in the previous years and probably years moving forward. But it's shitty. It's shitty for them to do, but I mean, I steal their stuff anyway. I mean, there's always ways to acquire it, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I know. And listen, they're going to have more opportunities to make money. They could literally do this again when this whole pandemic is over and make more. And you know what? In hindsight of what I said earlier, they are throwing us people that have had the network and been paying for it for a long time, the $9.99. They are throwing us a bone because we're not going to have to pay that whatever exorbitant price. $9.99, if we've been paying, we're going to get it for $9.99.
Yeah.
So I guess they are finally throwing us a bone. So I did want to clarify. I did realize that. Didn't want to contradict myself. And just want to throw that out there.
Yeah, and they are technically giving a portion of the network free to those who don't have maybe the means necessarily to pay $10 right now. So good on them for that. But I don't know. Like I said, I get that it's a business, but I don't know. 24-hour access because of the circumstances to the network for WrestleMania. So I don't get the logic of charging potentially $60 a night for a less than presentation. This show, like I said, regardless of how they dress it up, regardless of the bells and whistles, and this is WWE, so they're going to do their best to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. To make chicken salad out of chicken shit here.
You had it right.
But no matter how much no matter how much they try to dress this shit up, it's still not going to be WrestleMania. And how anybody in that company could look themselves in the face and take $60 from a person for a less than version of what WrestleMania is supposed to be is horseshit to me. That price point, I hope that ends up being false. $60 a night is fucking ridiculous. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
that's a fucking robbery.
So what you're saying is you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, I just wanted to clear that up. Shout out to the Southerners for that one. But
hey, sometimes a mouth is a mouth, brother.
You got a pretty mouth, boy. Anyway, Jesus Christ, act like you're in prison again. But oh, I didn't mean again. I'm sorry.
Just hanging and banging with old Teddy Hart.
Oh, please no Teddy Hart tonight. I do need to get the clip of the. I do need to cut that clip of that guy going, "Get your juice box and get the fuck out of here." I just got that. That's got to be played on the show.
No. Look, we'll say because Teddy Hart once again. That's an episode unto itself. We'll say that for Friday.
No,
I just want to point out.
I want to get into that. I want to get into that Maria Manic video Friday night. Definitely.
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah, and I just want to point out the absurdity real quick of fucking Maria Manic. She starts off her video going, "Hey, I just want to put this out there real quick." Video goes 16 minutes.
Yeah, and we may.
Jesus Christ.
we may get through wrestling very fast on Friday in order to play almost all those 16 minutes. But anyway, let's get back to Raw because there's only two more things I really want to get into on Raw. One is the Edge promo. Once again, Edge, another guy not really known for cutting these fucking, banging promos, funny promos, entertaining promos, absolutely. These serious promos, though, not much. And old Edge is doing pretty good at these promos. I think, like I said, man, Raw was full of good promos. But I don't know. The whole promo he cut was about 8 minutes. I got a shortened version of it. You want to hear the 3-minute version?
Sure.
Yeah. What the hell? I could use another beer anyway. Give me a second.
Play it. We can break it up like we always do.
Yeah, here we go. Oop.
Let's face it, man. We're all junkies for this. As a 13-year-old kid sitting 11th row ringside for WrestleMania, Hulk Hogan, Ultimate Warrior, I knew then. If you're not a junkie for this, then you're just taking up space. You're in my way. You talked about grit, right? Clearly, we have different definitions of the word grit. To you, grit seems to be, handpicked by evolution. That represents grit to you. You're resting on the laurels of your family name. Coasting. Off and on with spurts of magic for the last 20 years. Just okay with being okay. Don't get me wrong, okay for you is better than most, and that's a Hall of Fame career. But to me, grit is the type of man that'll reach down into that hole, that'll pull somebody out that probably doesn't deserve it. To me, grit is refusing to be an evolution because you don't want to be someone's lackey. To me, grit is forging your own Hall of Fame career. To me, grit is thinking about how to get back here every day for 9 years and end this on your terms. You accepted a last man standing match with me, a man who will dive face first into a flaming table with thumbtacks lodged into every part of my body just to grab that torch that you took for granted. You dug yourself another hole, didn't you, Randy? This time, I'm not going to pull you back out. I'm going to push you so far in, you will never get back out.
Hell yeah. You know what, man? I got to tell you something. I'm not very... there's a few matches I do want to see that are coming up on Mania, but these promos are actually making me want to watch Mania a little more. But like we said before, I want more of these. I want more of these one-on-one pre-tape promos. I hope WWE really understands how much people like these better. And I hope, like Anthony said, they keep this formula with these promos because it works. Not every promo has to be in the middle of the fucking ring. Not every promo has to be backstage live. This is where it's at. Certain promos, of course, let the guys go down there that can talk and cut them. But I don't need to see fucking Ricochet down in the middle of the ring trying to cut a promo. I'd rather see him do this maybe. Maybe this would work for him. Anyway, what did you guys think of this whole thing here?
Pretty much everything you said, times 100, 100 times over. No, it was a good promo. It was concise. It was to the point. And honestly, I don't know what it is, but whenever WWE's back is against the wall and they have to work under challenging circumstances, they always give us gold. Always give us gold. It's like when they're forced to think outside of the box and not be so stuck to whatever they had committed to paper, they give us magic. It's like they kind of like revert back to how it was back in the late 80s, early 90s, Attitude Era, where everything was spontaneous and it was just like you felt like you were listening to real human beings communicate through the TV screen. Like I remember distinctly, it was I want to say it was a Raw right after the Royal Rumble where it was like a bad snowstorm and they literally had to do the whole Raw from Titan Towers. Yeah, that was. I remember that being one of the best Raws ever, and it was basically promos the whole night. But they weren't scripted; they were just guys like going at it. Roman Reigns was cutting good promos. Like it was good shit because you got the person.
Right, and I remember that. I do remember that. I do. Man, Skype is locking up a little. I'm going to turn my camera off for a little while, guys. Skype's locking up a little bit tonight.
No, but Edge knocked it out of the park. Him and Orton, and honestly. That match I am very much looking forward to. But Edge is another guy I feel sorry for. First big match back in almost 10 years, and it's going to be in front of nobody.
Yeah, well, I don't think he really gives a shit. I think as long as he's back, he's going to be fine. But Smart, what you got, man?
Yeah, I mean, at least as far as that goes, at least he did kind of have the payoff at the Rumble to be able to come out to everybody kind of losing their minds. I was actually a little bit surprised because he was talking about how he's a junkie for it and how he does everything that he does. He does it for the people and for the reaction, not being an ego thing, but, that's what he does. I was kind of surprised that he didn't kind of shift or acknowledge the fact that there's not going to be anybody around. So what he, because I could see it as being a potential him just saying that with the fans not being there, that what he's going to do Saturday or Sunday or whenever it is that they're having this match is going to be for his own personal enjoyment because he hates Randy Orton so much, that it's going to be an opportunity to inflict the kind of punishment that he wants. He doesn't have to worry about playing up to anybody. But be that as it may, the promo that he actually did cut, I really did enjoy. Like they seem to be pretty smart in who they're allowing to give an excess amount of TV time to. Like, because there's a couple of people on the card that are going to be, they're going to be performing and they are in the card, like I said, but there's some people that you don't want to see talking for 10, 15 minutes. We did talk about the Street Profits are going to be on there. You don't want a long promo from them. But the people that they are giving promo time to, they have been knocking out of the park. I will say that. There's a couple of, it's not going to feel the same, but they're trying their very best to make it feel important, to make it feel fun and enjoyable and engaging.
Right. Exactly, man. Couldn't have said it any better. And speaking of, once again, trying as hard as you can to sell this WrestleMania, that'll bring us to the last thing I want to get into, which is the Paul Heyman promo.
Yes. Please say you had that queued up, man. That was a work of fucking art.
Again, I've got a shortened version of it here. I'm playing them right off WWE, the Raw results right off WWE, which, it works. But the shortened versions are just fine. But you know what? I don't even want to, real quick, what Paul Heyman said was great. It always is, definitely. The way they shot this was even better, with Brock just sitting there right up against the ropes and Paul Heyman behind him. Just, it really was great production on their part. I know it was simple. It was just hard camera focusing in, but it looked good. I don't know whose idea it was to put Brock up in front of Heyman, but it made sense. And for some reason, I don't know why, it didn't make the promo better, but it looked really fucking good that way and just made sense to me. I don't know what you guys
Would you
think.
say that it was almost Chuck Colombo-esque?
Oh, I mean, man, I don't know if it was Palumbo good, but I mean, for Kevin Dunn, it was pretty good. It was pretty good for Kevin Dunn. I mean, let's not go.
There was no shaky cam.
Yeah, I mean, you got to really put it out there for Palumbo shit, but I'm just saying, that's a whole different level. But it was still good. Anthony, what did you think of it?
It was fantastic, and like you said, the camera work. I'm gonna say Palumbo definitely had a hand in this one. He had to.
Man,
it was a Scorsese-esque.
Man, you guys are getting way out of the box here. But anyway, let me go ahead and play this one here. Again, shortened version of the greatness of Paul Heyman. But I did want to bring up the fact that it just looked good on camera the way it was shot. Before, like I said, Paul Heyman always great on the mic. But here we go. Might take a second. But
year in and year out, at WrestleMania, Brock Lesnar is the beast to slay, the conqueror to conquer, the one to beat on the single biggest show of the year. This year, Drew McIntyre has truly stepped up. My compliments, sir. Much respect to you. Why? Because Drew McIntyre is that special. Compared to the guy on the street, Drew McIntyre is that special. Compared to the dumbass in the gym who says, I can do that WWE stuff. No, you can't. Drew McIntyre is special. Compared to that locker room. And let's be honest with each other. That is the most extraordinary roster in the history of this industry. Drew McIntyre, compared to all of them, is that special. You know who else was special? The Rock, who got laid out and beat by Brock Lesnar the first time Brock ever went after that title. You know who else was special? The immortal Hulk Hogan, whose blood was wiped across Brock Lesnar's chest like some medieval warlord conquering the past. You know who else was special? Randy Couture. You know who else was special? Shane Carwin, John Cena. They were legends. They were Hall of Famers. They were icons that stood above all the other icons. And at the end of the day, when they got into the ring against a once-ever athlete like Brock Lesnar, you know what happened? They ended up like everyone else. Not so god special, but just Brock's.
Damn. And
if you're impacted by the,
I'm sorry, on the live version of this, they edited, they bleeped goddamn, but bitch went through, and they let Kevin Owens say shit earlier in the night.
Yeah, because you watched the Hulu version, I'm assuming, right?
No. I've been watching the DVR version. It's so much easier to go through. It doesn't matter. It's faster, actually. The DVR version I get through quicker than the Hulu version. Yeah, man. Once again, like I said, Paul Heyman, great shit, and I don't know, great stuff. And I mean, he just talked straight into the camera and pulled it the fuck out of there. Great shit by Paul Heyman once again. I mean, how many times do we have to praise Paul Heyman on the show? Just great shit. That's really all I can say.
Yeah, it was. I mean, it was fantastic. It was basically the same thing he's been saying, but it felt like he put an extra little bit of stank on this one. And I mean, it really built up the aura of Lesnar, which if Drew ends up beating him on Saturday or Sunday, I feel like it's going to add a little bit more credibility to Drew just by proxy. Because when you start name dropping, you know, he dominated Rock, he dominated Hogan, he dominated Triple H, he dominated in MMA. All that does is add credibility to whoever beats him. Mm-hmm. Even though, once again, we go through this cycle with Brock every year. Somebody will beat him at WrestleMania. He'll get the belt back 2-3 months later. Rinse, wash, repeat. The WrestleMania main event every year.
Yeah, pretty much. But I don't know, y'all. By the way, we did have one more match on the show that I guess we can really quickly mention it, which was Asuka versus I forgot her name, and I already closed the results. What was that girl's name, guys? Here, shit, I'm gonna have to get the results back up, aren't I?
Nah, I remember it, but yeah.
Give me 2 seconds here. I got it right now. It is Jesus Christ! They don't even have it on the on their shortened version. There we go. Caden Carter versus Asuka was a decent match. I like that Caden Carter girl. She's actually got
some potential.
Definitely, I like that girl.
I like her look, and I do actually sincerely mean that, with the contacts and everything.
Yeah, she has a good look about her, and she's not bad in the ring at all. I really had no problems with it. It was just I honestly don't know a lot about her, but definitely got some potential. Huh?
I have a question for you.
Yeah?
It's a quick one. What did you think of Charlotte on this broadcast? I know she wasn't on the show very long, but compared to most weeks, she was very covered up for her brief little segment with Rhea Ripley jumping her outside the building.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that little segment when that happened right there. Whatever. I don't know. You gotta you can't always have them just out to the public. I mean, you know, especially nowadays. So gotta cover up, man. Jesus Christ, those things right there could carry fucking something right there. But
I know you, Box. You'd be willing to risk it all, right? You just think about it.
My God, you don't even know the woo I would do when I came. It would just be the loudest ever.
And shout out to, we didn't mention it earlier, but Zelina Vega, once again, covered up but still looking fine. Mm-hmm. That woman can do no wrong in my eyes. I just wanted to point that out.
Nope. Looks better. I don't get covered up or not. That woman looks better every time she comes out, and she's a good addition either way. And she doesn't just stand there by the ring like some of the girls do. She goes out, she does her job. I like it. But all right, like I said, I think Raw was a great promo show. And Montez Ford, don't do that again. But what? I don't know. Well, you guys got anything more, or just move on to AEW?
Let's move on. It was a serviceable. I won't say it was the best go home show ever, but it was serviceable. The matches that they needed to get over, they got over.
Oh yeah, I meant to mention that Paul Heyman even tore the fourth wall down, saying this is known as the go home show. Paul Heyman was breaking some of those fourth walls down, using some kayfabe stuff out there.
Nah, it's old throwback, man. It's Heyman being Heyman.
Yeah, definitely good stuff, man. But Smart, anything else, or move on to the AEW?
No, I think we've covered it.
All right. Let's move on to AEW Dynamite then. Before that, by the way, they did mention on AEW Dynamite, and we'll go ahead and say it real quick, Nick Jackson did welcome his third child into the world over, I think, yesterday or the day before. But another son. And so congratulations, man. It's pretty cool.
Did you just say third child?
I'm sorry, second child.
Oh, second. No. I'm about to say. A lot of buckshots going on, huh?
No, it does say third child. Nick Jackson welcomes his third child. Nick Jackson, today, the birth of his child, Michael. Nick also has a daughter, Allison, and another son, Gregory. So the new child is named Michael. Three kids.
Yeah. Which, think about that for a second. They pointed this out. I actually watched, because I was at board this week, the most recent episode of Being the Elite, and he mentioned that if his new son does in fact get into the wrestling business, he will be named Michael Jackson. So it's like, well, you've got a hill to climb, sir.
Yeah, interesting. But interesting. But I did want to go ahead and say definitely congratulations on that. And one piece of news before you get into Dynamite. We talked about a month ago, maybe a month and a half ago, guys, about WWE and Sky Sports being not really coming to a agreement, and they were working on it, correct? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
Well, guess what? WWE and Sky Sports did not come to an agreement, but guess who did come to an agreement with Sky Sports? AEW, all of their special shows and pay-per-views will be shown on Sky Sports over in the UK and Europe. It's not getting Dynamite over there, but listen, this is still more exposure for them, which is a good thing. Very good thing. They got, they're going to do Blood and Guts. I believe that's the first show that's going to be shown over there. So whenever it happens. And no, you know what? The first show actually is the Double or Nothing pay-per-view, scheduled right now for May 23rd in Las Vegas. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen. That's up in the air right now. But that would be the first one. So it is the pay-per-views that are only the pay-per-views that are going to be shown over in UK and Germany. So I don't know, man. I think this is a good thing for them. They can. Any exposure is good exposure, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So there you go. They will be once again there. And I guess we can get into the last piece of news before we get into Dynamite, which is they mentioned it on the show. Next week they start the tournament for the TNT Championship belt, which is just a fancy word for the television championship. Right, guys?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it's different,
Yeah.
So I guess it's something different. They definitely need an undercard title, so I'm not going to get into the semantics of what they call it. TNT, ABC, TBS. It's a title. It's a much needed addition to the show because they have a stacked lower to mid card roster right now, and they really need to have those guys competing for something. It's filled with a lot of guys that's not necessarily ready for the main event scene. Mm-hmm. So they're not just having matches for the sake of matches. This gives them something to fight over.
Yeah, and hey, wait till WWE starts calling the United States Championship the USA Championship. Then see how you feel. Just saying. It'll happen now. I'm kidding. Joking. Jesus. Anyway, I guess we can get into Dynamite. Once again.
Oh.
Go ahead.
No, real quick. I mean, obviously, I just thought about this with the opening. Obviously, I'm assuming they're keeping JR on ice because of the current COVID-19. Same reason they're probably keeping Lawler on ice.
Yeah.
I'm surprised because Shivani's in his 60s, right?
I think so.
I'm surprised they're keeping him around. I mean, I get it, but I figured he'd be like, I think he's in that age bracket where he will be at a higher risk. So I'm actually surprised that he's still coming around.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he's expendable. I don't know.
Maybe they just say, no, we need JR. Yeah, Shivani, yeah. If he dies, he dies.
If he dies, he dies. Whatever. It's just Shivani. But anyway, I like that guy. I'm joking. But I guess, we did just mention the TNT title coming up and the TNT Championship. And the matches are Shawn Spears versus Cody, Kip Sabian versus Dustin Rhodes, Sammy Guevara versus Darby Allin, and Lance Archer versus Colt Cabana. So we will get that starting next week. And that's it. We'll go from there. We'll see who wins those matches, and the brackets will shrink.
Yes, but my pick to take it all right now, Sammy Guevara. I feel like I feel like heel Sammy Guevara with that belt could make it something special.
I disagree. I think it's going to come down to Archer and Cody. And I think this might be the first time we get Cody actually eating a pin. Notice Cody did not eat the pin tonight. I do want to mention that. You notice that Darby ate the pin,
of course.
Yeah.
And then Darby gave him a knuckle sandwich.
Yeah, and between those two, I think this might be Lance Archer's to win. I think this would be a good mid-card title for him to start with, to just kind of go out there and be a killer with. My opinion. Smark, what do you got on that?
Yeah. I'm partially with you. I think it's probably going to end up. I think Archer's going to be in the finals, but I think it's probably going to be Darby and Archer. I could be wrong, but I feel like either way you go with that, you can't really go wrong because you got one that has a lot of momentum as a face, and then you have one guy who you clearly want to be kind of your bell cow in terms of the Haas division. Your big, strong, dominant, scary, killer guy. If I had to pick, I would say probably Darby, but like I said, you can't go wrong either way. If the finals does end up coming down to Darby versus Archer, I just don't see Cody putting himself in the finals. But who knows? I mean, he does have the elaborate 20-minute entrance, so it wouldn't surprise me. But I'm hoping against it.
Yeah, I guess we'll see. But all right, there we go. 3 different opinions there. So there we go. I like that they had people in the wrestlers out in the crowd again, making noise, making the match feel good. Better than just nothing, no noise at all. Guy, I do got to say, I did not see this first match. We had just sat down to dinner, so I did not see the Omega Trent match.
It was a good match.
Okay.
I mean, I hate to be just trying to just for the sake of brevity, it was a solid match. It did have a cool spot as they fought out into the non-existent crowd, where Omega gave Trent a power bomb into the posting it part of the staging area. Mm-hmm. That was pretty cool.
All right, there you go.
Like I said, and it gave him a solid 20 minutes or so. It literally covered almost the first half hour of Dynamite.
All right. There you
and
go.
I did like how they practiced safe social distancing. They had, if you noticed, it felt like everybody was exactly 6 apart.
6 feet apart.
6 feet apart.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
it was interesting, and I did like the shots of Orange Cassidy at different points where he had his little card in front of his face, he didn't even want to breathe the air in that room, in that building. I thought that was a nice touch.
Oh man.
And the elbow, everybody's doing the elbow dabs on the way out.
Very nice.
Yeah. No handshakes, no dabs, no pounds for a while. Just got to dab the elbow. That's all we need right now.
There you go. Well, Mark, anything on that I didn't that Anthony didn't mention?
No, not really. It was a really good match, though. I enjoyed it. that's kind of Trent did what Trent was there to do.
Mm-hmm.
He's not really the same. He's not really a great comedy guy, in my opinion. He's more of a straight man when they do the comedy thing. He's more there to just kind of be the actual, like, solid, legitimate wrestler type. So he did that, and he actually did a pretty good job of playing off of Omega had a broken hand after that tag match. So he did a good job of working the majority of the offense he had was working over the hand. So it was pretty good. It was more of a brawl than like an actual technical match, which was kind of surprising. But I'd recommend if anybody hasn't seen it yet and they are interested in any way to check it out, because it definitely lived up to kind of standards of expectations that you might expect from Kenny Omega match.
All right. So there you go. All right. Like I said, I didn't see it. No comment from me. I did come in the middle of this Shida versus Anna Jay match. Britt Baker was there, and Shida kept coming up to her, and she'd go, no, 6 feet, distance. And then she ate a sandwich during this match.
She sure did.
She did.
It was a big-ass sandwich, too.
She did. And
good girl with that sandwich, by the way. I just wanted to point that out.
And by the way, speaking of good girl, Anna Jay. I like Anna Jay. Who is that?
Yeah.
Who is she?
By the looks of her body, I'm like, she might be related to Sarah J.
Oh, I know what you're talking about there.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah, this girl's potential. Much more potential. Potential, definitely. But, I don't know. Nothing really big happened in that match. Shida did win. You guys got anything on that? One of the better parts of the match was watching, just seeing Britt Baker eat the sandwich.
That was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
There was a moment there where, for whatever reason, I guess Cody just got bored, just decided to start making implications based on what Tony Schiavone said. Because he said that he'd really gotten to know Britt Baker over the last couple of weeks. And Cody said, Tony, you're a married man. And, like, Tony started fumbling around. That was a pretty good moment.
Well, Tony's been known to chase a little bit, if you know what I'm talking about. There's some stories about Tony. That's all I'm saying. Now, we had this little video package after that match, which was the Jon Moxley video package and Jake Hager. Once again, man, I like this. This was done well. This is Chuck Palumbo at his best, obviously. It looks like they just brought Moxley in during the day and had him just sitting away from everybody, just on camera, asking the guy questions. And I thought it came off good, and it looks like they just had Jake Hager sitting in a fucking room doing the same thing. Thought it came off really good. I don't know what you guys thought.
No, it came across good. I mean, once again, it goes back to, playing to people's strengths. Moxley's always been a good talker, so no surprise from him. But Hager, like I said, he came across as a very believable badass. Mm-hmm. And I'm looking forward to their first matchup coming up. I think it's going to be an empty arena match. I think they said it's going to be in like 2 weeks, because apparently AEW's been every chance to tape it as much content as possible, almost like taking a WWE approach, because don't know how long this thing is going to go on and don't know how much longer they're going to have access to buildings. So good on them for taping as much content as they can. But two solid interview segments. Sorry about that.
Yeah, definitely. Smart.
I totally agree. It was a really good segment. I think right now we're talking about them having access to facilities. I think right now they were shooting from the Jaguars practice complex. That's what it looked like. Not entirely sure on that one, but that's what it did. Because if you saw like the floor when they had them out on the floor, it looked kind of AstroTurf-esque. Because you could tell, it didn't look like a normal, their normal ring mats and shit like that. It looked like there was some kind of a field underneath them. So that's interesting. The video package itself, like I said, good stuff. They're pretty consistent with their video packages. I'm really looking forward to seeing this feud, though.
Yeah.
Because, they've done a good job of building Hager up to be an ass kicker. And, of course, they haven't had Moxley lose yet. So You know, he seems like a good person to bring in there because I don't think he's going to necessarily lose because it's Moxley's first, feud, first defense, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's believable that he could win.
True. Very true. I agree with that. It's funny. I'm sitting here looking at the next match, and I'm looking at Uprocks for the results here because my memory sucks, especially short term. And the next match says we did get the debut of Lance Archer, and the description for the match says Lance Archer murdered Marco Stunt.
More or less.
It's pretty true. We had Cole Cabana on commentary for this match. He did. He ragdolled Marco Stunt, which I get it. That's what Marco Stunt is there for. But wow, man! And then he threw him from the apron to literally ringside, and threw him midget tossed this dude. Like if you like do you ever see fucking Wolf of Wall Street like that? Just yeah, man. Yeah, I guess murdered is the right word because he definitely killed this little dude. Not sure how that really ups him as a fucking killer, taking out a little guy, but I guess there's a debut, and Marco Stunt is young, and I guess whatever.
Yeah, my only gripe is it should have been zero offense. This should have been a complete murder. It should have been a complete crime scene. That was my only complaint. But man, it filled my heart with so much joy watching Marco Stunt get brutalized here. I was so happy I couldn't stand it. I'm sorry. I loved it all. Except for those, like I said, those brief flashes of all jokes aside, I just feel like Lance Archer, he's a new character, so I feel like right now he should be nothing but dominance, nothing but offense.
Yeah.
So I just felt like he literally should have just ran through him. But outside of that small little nitpick, it was everything that it needed to be.
Yeah, I guess so. These Brody Lee videos, guys. These are totally, definitely. These are shots at McMahon, dude.
Yeah, we're 3 weeks into them. You think these are gonna get old quick, or do you think they should pivot and go in another direction?
No, I like them. Keep with them. You can only make jokes so long, and then they're gonna have to shift a little bit. But I could keep doing these because there's a lot of different directions they can go with these, but these are definitely shots at McMahon, dude. 100%.
Yeah, I get it. Like I said, take your shots and all that. I get it. And if you're going to, I look at it like this: if you're going to take shots at WWE, now is the time to get them in because they got a lot more bigger fish to fry. So while their mind is distracted, just take your shots. I just don't want to see this devolve into another. I don't want to see this turn into another TNA situation because it got to a point with TNA where it just felt like they were constantly sucking on the dick of WWE. Where it seemed like everything WWE did, they had to do a commentary on it. They had to mock it someone. It's just I get it. That's part of wrestling, taking shots at each other. But at some point, you just got to focus on what you got going on. So they're entertaining now, but if we're still 3-4 months down the line and we're still looking at and they're still taking these type of shots, it's okay, we get it. The joke's been running to the ground. So right now it's fine, but I feel like they're starting to creep into that territory where if they're still doing this 2 months from now, then I revert back to this commentary.
Okay, there you go, Smart.
Preserved for the record, yes. No, I do have kind of the same concern because, on one hand, right now it does work, but you also don't want it to turn into that whole fucking voodoo kin mafia thing where it wasn't subtle at all and it wasn't even really clever or funny or creative. It was just it's the same initials as Vince. It's Vince. Ha ha ha. He sucks. He's gay. But that's, to be fair, that's an entirely different company with an entirely different creative team. So, what AEW has been doing so far with the whole thing is like, yeah, if you follow the kind of shoot interviews or the more kind of insidery stuff, when the references to Vince are being made. But at the same time, like the not sneezing stuff, the eating, don't eat before I eat, all this shit. At the same time, you could still say that even if it wasn't a reference to Vince, it would still make sense for like a cult leader to do.
Right.
So it would, even if Vince didn't exist at all, it would still make perfect sense. So as long as they keep having him act like just kind of as almost an ambiguous cult figure, but then you can also look and say, he's doing what Vince would do here, he's doing what Vince would do there. As long as they make it enough of kind of its own unique thing and you don't rely totally on just making fun of Vince, the character is going to be successful. And I think so far they've found a good balance with that.
Yeah, definitely.
I do want to say I did laugh at the part where Brody looks at the guy, say it like I told you to say it. And he just kept saying opposite. I would love to think that in the middle of promo class, Vince just emasculates guys like that. Damn it. Like I told you to say it. Like every time, like, because we've heard it in different shoot interviews. Like Vince has a certain cadence that he likes guys to talk in, and like whenever you see somebody does each and every single one, that's like a Vince line.
Oh yeah,
that's a Vince. Like you can always tell when like somebody is specifically saying something that Vince wants them to say, and that part I ain't gonna lie, that part of the segment did crack me up.
Yeah, there was some, and you know what? These little shots are subtle enough to where they can go a little bit longer, and I hope. But
Box, I wanted to ask you something. That one part, I thought about you in your morning meetings when that one guy was yawning.
Yeah.
Does your boss sit next to you like, bro? It's nothing going on. The fuck are you yawning for? What you been doing?
No, I do a little. I take a capful of 5-hour energy before I go into meetings. Just to make sure I don't yawn. I don't like yawning. So there you go. Especially not. I don't like yawning in front of people, but I do sometimes. Can't luckily, I have a 6-month-old at home, so it's oh man, I can always use that as an excuse for being tired. So.
You know what else was an interesting choice, and I don't know if this is a reference to something that I'm just not getting or what, but the entire time he was talking, there was a television on behind him, and it was just a static pattern.
Yeah.
I don't know if that has any significance or not, but it just seemed like a weird choice to have that going on the entire time.
Yeah, that one I'm not sure about, but Antox, by the way, is saying that these are all Brody's idea. I could see that. And they're doing great. Go, Chuck Palumbo.
Oh yes. and I get it because it's like I haven't listened to the whole thing yet. I've only heard sound bites. I'm actually I got the time at some point this week. I'm gonna listen to that entire Jericho interview in full. And the thing about Brody Lee, he doesn't come across necessarily as bitter. But I feel like he's just working through a lot of pent-up frustration that he's been dealing with for the past couple years. So, like I said, hopefully, like I said, he gets through a month of these vignettes, and then like he'll be like focused on moving forward. But I just feel like sometimes you're watching a guy who's just literally venting through these segments. Like these are like his personal experiences. Like I could have been doing this years ago. But an out-of-touch old man kept his thumb down on me to the point where I just lost my passion for this shit.
There you go. Yeah. I definitely could. I agree with that. He's definitely doing that. But I don't know.
And plus, he's not a young guy. You got to remember, like he's either 40 or he's pushing 40.
Right.
So literally, a lot of his prime years were wasted doing nothing in WWE.
Yeah.
So now it's just like I don't want to say like I'm not saying he's going to retire tomorrow, but like he feels like the clock is ticking. In his mind he might only want to wrestle for another 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, maybe. I guess. Then again, you got guys like Taker still out there doing it, so who knows? But
I will say what I think is cool that they're doing and this doesn't really address the promo as much as it does the match. I like the fact that they're actually like numbering the members of the Dark Order, seemingly based on importance. I feel like that does overall help give it a more cult-like vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and the match we're about to get into was against the Natural Nightmares, Dustin Rhodes and QT Marshall, which I'm really tired of them just making little names for everybody already, versus Dark Order members 8 and 9. 8 and 9. And, of course, the Nightmares, of course, won that match. And then after the match, though, I like that Brody came out and just totally powerbombed the one dude, and the other guy just recoiled into the corner like, oh, no, not me. Like fucking Dark Helmet from Spaceballs just walked in. There you go. I hope everyone enjoyed that little reference right there. Who got it? Spaceballs? Anthony? No? Okay. Whatever.
Yeah, I remember Spaceballs. We did a show on it, Hollywood Hangout. Check it out in the archives.
That's right. We did. That's right. Fooled you. Okay. Anyway, it's one of the best lines from that movie. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, look, the match was what it was. But I think mainly the main part I remembered was Brody Lee coming out afterwards after after 8 and 9 lost. And good shit, though.
My two observations from this. We're going Cody. Yeah, Brody. Brody's first big feud is going to be against Dustin, and I feel like QT Marshall, that heel turn's coming. They laid it on thick on commentary tonight, like he's a part of the family. Dustin took him under the wing. Anytime they start talking like that, that turn is a coming at some point.
Oh, it's all about family right now, man. Family, God damn it, family. What? Family. What?
I did like how Cody was actually very much improved on commentary this week. I liked it was during this match where he started busting Shivani's balls because coming out of break, hey, Tony Schiavone along with the Natural. Jesus Christ, Tony. You sound just like Michelle. Michelle's his mom. He's like I guess he's like the forgotten kid. You figure he's stuck in between Dusty and Goldust. So he's like, motherfucker, like I'm Cody. I have my own damn it. I have my own name. I have my own
yeah.
Like, he was one step away from calling him Dusty.
It was close.
Well, in fairness, he did work with Dusty on commentary for a lot of years, so
yeah,
I will give him that pass.
Yeah, there you go. You're right. But yeah, I mean, like I said, the match itself, I don't know what you guys got on it, but like I said, the Natural Nightmares did win with the tandem cutter finisher. And decent match, definitely a decent match. But what you guys got there, or
it was a solid match, but it was more like it was not necessarily a squash. It was just like a notch above a standard squash match.
Yeah,
served its purpose. That's why it wasn't like I said. It served its purpose. It wasn't a bad match per se, but it's really not much to get into.
Yeah. I think I agree with that. I don't know if Smark's got anything on it, but he's on mute right now. So we'll go ahead and get to this Chris Jericho segment, guys, where Jericho comes to us from his hot tub, and then Vanguard 1 flies in, and Jericho offers him a spot once again in Inner Circle. Yes, the drone. And Jericho pulls out a tiny little Inner Circle shirt and hooks it on Vanguard, and Vanguard flies away with it, and Jericho releases the Hounds, which are really just a bunch of cute little dogs barking at it. Once again, Jericho, amazing. Just amazing. This is so... This is definitely a Chris Jericho video idea. But absolutely just amazing, though. The little shirt, I couldn't stop laughing. I'm still laughing. I'm looking at it. And it's perfect. It's perfect. So, there you go, man. Thought it was fucking great. What did you guys think of this little video here?
Hey, Jericho being Jericho had a little bit of the bubbly.
No.
And kudos. I don't know if you noticed, Jericho during this whole pandemic, Jericho is the first person in the wrestling business to actually say the word virus on the air.
That's right.
So kudos to him on it. Like he's like the only. It's like he's the only person once again living in the real world and not in the wrestling bubble. Current events and he just said, once this virus is over and I let the fans into the building, we're going to beat the hell out of Matt Hardy and Moxley and blah blah blah. So I wanted to make mention of that. That's the first thing. That was my first main takeaway from the promo. Like, damn, somebody isn't living in a wrestling bubble and they're acknowledging real world events right now.
Yeah, well, he's at home getting paid. What does he care?
No. But it was a good promo.
Yeah.
Once again, Jericho going back and forth with Vanguard 1. Whatever Jericho touches, in my mind, he can do no wrong. I know he wasn't a fan from which kind of surprised me. He wasn't a fan of how the original segment came off last week. So they redated it the next day. But I liked it either way.
Yeah, I did too. Smart.
I totally agree. It was, like you said, the T-shirt. The T-shirt was a nice touch. Hooking the little T-shirt on him. And the whole idea of just like, all right, well, now that it's just us, me and you, we can actually get to talking on this. And I'll try to get you in again. Try to cut you a deal. I just like the fact that he just continues to have these long conversations with the fucking drone. Which is just, like you said, it's this classic Jericho stuff. It's all him.
Oh, yeah.
And, man, I'll give him a bonus point for what could potentially be more than likely is a Simpsons reference with the release of the hounds, and then out come the small dogs. That was a good one. That house, man, that was a nice looking house. That is, I could think of far worse places to spend however long it is that he's going to have to spend in there.
Yeah, I think he'll do just fine. And speaking of nice houses, the young Bucks go down to a ring that supposedly is Nick Jackson's home right there. He's got tennis courts and shit. Bro.
Mind you, this is in like California.
Yeah,
so he's got to be paying a pretty penny for this if it actually is his house.
Yeah.
So they must have moved a lot of fucking merchandise.
Yeah, and I think they were in like Rancho Cucamonga or something, which I don't know the fucking value of homes out there or anything, but I just know California is ridiculous when it comes to buying houses and land and property. They're $1 million homes, so I don't know. And again, I don't know where he is. It might not be that way, but if that's his house, that's a fucking nice place. So
yeah, hell yeah, like fuck, screw white privilege. I want that young buck privilege. Geez, like either that, but you got to remember, like all jokes aside, it is very plausible for that to be his house because the Young Bucks are pretty much they kind of like set the stage for independent wrestlers to be able to make a living.
Yeah.
Cause let's be they're the first two that I could think of. Smart, maybe you can help me out. That became independently wealthy based off the independence. Not many people can say that.
To probably a smaller degree, I would say also probably Colt Cabana. But
oh yeah,
because he was kind of the one that influenced. He basically told them to like start fucking selling merchandise because they saw how much merchandise he was moving, and it's basically just like, guys, you could do this shit too. Like, make your own, start getting your own T-shirts out there. All your little merchandise, headbands and socks and whatever the fuck. Just start moving merchandise. There's a market for it. So yeah, that was him. But yeah, for the most part, Young Bucks were kind of the first examples of where things started to shift, where people could actually afford to stay on the independents. And, if you just work more high profile companies, you could actually afford to make a living because they're working for Ring of Honor, PWG, New Japan, all that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, man. They are. And I'm sure I'm sure they made a ton of money and good for them. And you know what? They ton of merch goes out for the Young Bucks, man. You see it at all the AEW shows. So, yeah, I'm sure they're doing just fine. And I don't know, weren't they like one of the first ones to be in that Pro Wrestling Tees thing and everything? Yeah,
I believe so. And then like even before that, necessarily, like those Bullet Club T-shirts.
Oh yeah,
everybody and their sister had one for a while there,
and they still do. But yeah. They showed him working out in the ring, and it was kind of just Nick Jackson just out there fucking getting ready to return. So, and they announced that he had a kid. We know why he's home. Come on, I mean, really, do we have to do this? Just like you already told us. They told us why he's there, and then they're like, "Well, no, he's really at home because he's hurt." No, he's at home because he was having a baby.
You know what it is, Box. You got to get lost in the universe.
Yeah. Whatever universe that might be. Sure. All right. Guys, I got to tell you, I was not a big fan of this main event on AEW tonight. The Shawn Spears and Sammy Guevara defeating Kobe and Darby Allin.
I want to stop you right there.
Uh-huh.
My enjoyment of this match had nothing to do with the match, but during the ring introductions. So as Sammy Guevara's coming out, he has a moment with Britt Baker. Look, he's looking like he's about to shoot his shot. And then you hear him say, like, I know, got to keep my 6 feet. Because she had looked at him like, yeah, sorry, not right now, buddy. 6 feet. And he looked at it like, I get it, 6 feet. But he looked so disappointed in that moment. He looked like he was ready. He had his lines all prepared, like he was just ready to go. He was going to shoot that shot. He shut him down with that 6 feet. Shut him down. I'm sorry, look, Sammy Guevara is becoming one of my favorite highlights. He's becoming a weekly highlight for me on this show.
Damn. Social distancing is a cock blocker.
Yeah. but I will say this about Sammy Guevara. It's going to be a while before he tops singing Jericho's entrance. Was it a couple weeks ago?
Yeah.
That so far has been my favorite Guevara moment in AEW.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Yeah, definitely. But I got to tell you, the little gambling between shit actually made the match kind of annoying for me. I got no problem with gambling. I just, during the match when they were, it
made it a joke instead of like when it felt like it should have been like a more of a serious situation. I know what you mean.
Yeah, it really did. It kind of just distracted me completely from the match, and I didn't care, and it just made no difference. Darby Allin climbing that fucking pole and doing the coffin drop off of it, insane. I wouldn't have done. Under these, I wouldn't have done that, man. In front of nobody. That's something you say for like a. That was like a Mick Foley moment at a major pay-per-view. Not in a building with no fans. I mean, I know I get people are watching at home, but depending on what the ratings end up being, I'm like, bro, say that shit for when it matters. It's like,
please.
It's like Jeff Hardy at a TNA pay-per-view doing something stupid.
Yeah.
That was just a joke. But I mean, you know what? That's who that reminds me of. Jeff Hardy that time when in TNA to write him off, he bounced off of the cage door and then onto the steps. Remember that?
Oh yeah, yeah. I was like, what a fuck. Yeah, like him and Kurt Angle. I shake my head every time. Like sometimes I'll go on YouTube, I'll go down a rabbit hole of wrestling clips, and I'll see like Kurt Angle doing like a moonsault off of a fucking 14, 15-foot high steel cage, blowing out both knees. Jeff Hardy taking some ridiculous bumps, and I'm looking. You're doing this shit in TNA, and it's like what, 200 people in the building? Are you fucking kidding me right now? Like, you guys are better than this.
It's for the business, brother. It's for the business. It's for the business, brother.
Damn.
That's what they say. That's what they say. But
and I guarantee you, all of them checks weren't clearing, brother.
I'm sure a few of them went boing boing. Yeah, Smark, I don't know. Did that take away from the match for you too?
And not too much. I mean, I could see your point, but I think just right now they're just trying to come up with every possible idea they can to make things look new and fresh with the kind of circumstances that they're doing, having to work under. So it wasn't a big deal. Like, it wasn't as bad as, like, last week was kind of a little bit much when they would just occasionally cut to the trailers. Like, that was a little bit more distracting for me in terms of the overall flow of the match. But yeah, it wasn't a huge deal for me.
Like I said, I don't know. I don't know. It distracted me from the match. I don't know why. Fair. Maybe it shouldn't have, but it did. So, but Darby Allin did take the loss in this match, like I said. Spears got a roll-up pin on him. After the match, Cody was trying to, pick up Darby Allin and kept throwing his arm away, and then finally he knocked Darby Allin knocked Cody down with a forearm, and I guess we're going back to heel Darby Allin. I wouldn't do this right now.
At first, I thought I got the same vibe, but I feel like they're just trying to tease a little tension because they're going to have a match in the tournament.
Okay, but then after the match, they're going to hug and be all good. That just doesn't see this. That's just. I would rather see
Darby's funny thing. Like I don't see him I don't necessarily see him as a heel, but I also don't think he should be like a smiley. He's a baby face right now, in my opinion, but he's not a traditional baby face.
No, he's that gothic baby face.
Yeah,
like the Crow baby face.
Yeah, he's like a loner type. He doesn't like he doesn't swing either way. He's just like he's in his own little world. He lives by his own rules.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. And I get it. Antox is going, oh, he was frustrated. I get he was frustrated. But, it's not how you take out your anger.
And hey, Cody's a man and a half because did you notice at the beginning of the match, he did not honor social distancing and he gripped that man up by the hand like, brother, I'm going to help you up. I don't know what you got right now, but I'm going to help you up off this ground, off this mat. I'm like I Cody, he risked it all for Darby Allin, and Darby Allin repaid him and gone.
Well, I mean, they had already been like throwing each other around the ring, so I think it was okay at that point to do that. But yeah, I mean that was pretty much the end right there. But once again, I do like that they're having some people, even wrestlers in the fucking crowd. Even at one point, I forget who it was, but two guys started chanting AEW when they were about to go to commercial. It was perfect. They're trying to just shake things up and make it so it's not just dead in the fucking ring. And they've been in little roles, but I get what you're saying. At least they're attempting to do something. But I just feel like at this point, just because of everything that's going on, I feel like it'd be best for everybody involved if both companies just kind of like shut down temporarily. I don't know. And you know what? We will get more into that on Friday. I do have an article here from Forbes that I do want to get into. Actually, I didn't save it. You know what, Forbes? You know what? We have time to talk about this real quick since we're done with AEW, right, guys?
Yeah. Real quick, I wanted to ask you guys something since we just talked about social distancing. Did either of you get to see it? Look, it's a few weeks old now, but did you guys get to see the social distancing match? It was Joey Janela, and Jimmy Lloyd.
Yeah, I posted it.
What'd you guys think of that one? I meant to bring it up when it happened, but I'm like,
it was awful, dude. It was stupid. It was, but I mean, the crowd loves it. So what are you gonna do?
It was topical. What can you say? It's topical.
Smart, did you see it?
I didn't. I wanted to, but I just kind of lost track of it.
All right. Yeah. So anyway,
I'll send you a link, man. Mark, you got to see this. You got to see. I mean, it's just like, look, it's so over the top ridiculous that it's funny. It was funny to me.
Yeah, Jim Cornette did not enjoy that match. Why do people send him these bad matches to watch? I don't get it. I just leave the man alone, everybody. Don't torture this guy. But You know, Anthony, you like I said, you just mentioned, shutting down for a while. Forbes has an article headlined, and obviously Forbes a lot of opinion articles by these writers, and this is one of them. Now more than ever, WWE badly needs an off season. So they get into how the ratings are down at this point. And notice they're just talking about WWE. They don't bring up that. They don't say wrestling needs an off season. They're saying WWE needs an off season. First of all, do you guys agree with that?
Yeah, I mean, but it's we've been saying that for how many years at this point? They need an off season, especially right now when you have people dropping left and right from something that we don't know what's going on with it. Mm-hmm. There's not a cure. There's no type of antibiotic vaccination for it. So. And especially in the case of an AEW, they have less talent to work with than WWE. So if 2-3 of their guys get hit with this shit, that would be a blow to AEW right now because they're still growing.
Right. Smart.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, please.
I think even outside of what we're going through right now, like, to kind of speak to the idea of them having an off season, the only wrestling company that I've ever seen actually have like a season was Lucha Underground. Mm-hmm. And I will say it actually made it feel special because it made it feel like, the Ultima Lucha was the show they did at the end of every season, and it actually made it feel like the stakes actually mattered. And then, once they started advertising that, they're going to be coming back in a couple of weeks, you started actually building some anticipation for it. I always got excited for when this season would open and then when the season would close. Mm-hmm. And it's like, they really, at least in terms of WWE, like in December, like we never really rave about like the TLC pay-per-view. Like they could take a break in like December and then come back for like Royal Rumble and then, all that. So I think it would actually kind of make sense if they had like at least just like a month to just let everybody kind of recharge and kind of come up with some new ideas and,
I'm not so sure I agree with it. I really got to tell you. Look, I know...
They never will because there's a lot of money to be lost, but...
What I would do instead is I would cycle guys instead. Put it this way. His main point is absence makes the heart grows fonder. Yeah, but out of sight, out of mind. If you're trying to sell merchandise like WWE pretty much relies on, especially right now, you can't. You've got to have your name out there. And I mean, people have been watching Raw for ever. Could you imagine if you had? I mean, I don't even know. That'd be like what? What do they go off for 2-3 months?
But I mean,
I see why they don't. But cycling guys, I definitely agree with that. Give guys time off. But as far as WWE not having a weekly show, or 2 weekly shows, I'm sorry, minimum, then I don't think that's a good idea. I think they need to. But if they gave guys time off more, I mean, listen, they've got a lot of people out right now. We had people like Alexa Bliss, Kevin Owens, Daniel Bryan, Nia Jax, Sami Zayn, Ruby Riott. They've all missed lengthy times, being hurt, but cycle them out. And once they're hurt, they get cycled out anyway. So why don't you cycle them out before they get hurt? That's all I'm saying.
The difficulty with that, and I would think, is how do you explain that? Like, do you just come on the TV one day and just be like, all right, well, in June, so-and-so, so-and-so, and so-and-so are going on breaks?
No, but you know what? You do 2-3 pay-per-views. Your last pay-per-view is a blow-off match, and then you just kind of disappear for a while. I don't know. I know that's probably not the best way, but there are definitely ways that they could do it. And I don't know, man. I would cycle guys. I would not do an off season. Like Antok was saying, they may be forced to do an off season. I really don't see it heading that way. I really don't think they're going to. We're going towards a national shutdown at this point. I don't. Unless New Yorkers keep going to fucking different states. God damn it, you New Yorkers.
Yeah, I mean, all right. The current climate aside, we do 2 shows weekly. Mm-hmm. Past couple of weeks, we've gone out of our way to like the SmackDown reviews have been like either non-existent or have been very, very brief.
Yeah,
I feel like that. I mean, we're a small sample size, but I feel like that is exhibit A through Z for me of why there needs to be an off season. Because yes, I get it. WWE needs to kind of like, it's all about keeping a name out there, but what are you really keeping out there? Because now we're at the point now where people watch the show to just mock it and to find shit to bitch about on a weekly basis. At least if you implement an off season, it gives people a chance to not only recharge, but it gives fans a chance to miss the shit. Like actually take the, like, if it's not always there to bitch about, then you realize like, I do miss Raw. I do miss SmackDown. Yeah, it wasn't always the greatest, but I miss having it around. So that when it does come around, ratings will improve. You know why? Because people aren't accustomed to it being there all the time. You make it must see again. Like right now on this weekly shit is, let's be honest, Raw has been a little bit better about things than SmackDown, but SmackDown most weeks you can miss it and not. You can miss SmackDown for 6 months and feel like you haven't missed a damn thing. I mean, that's just real. Like that's a show right there by itself that could benefit from an off season.
Yeah, and I don't think you're ever really truly out of sight, out of mind nowadays, because they have all kinds of avenues. They have the podcast, the YouTube channel, social media, all this, the network. So there's all kinds of things that you could even have. They could change the way that they work, the draft or superstar shakeup, however the fuck they want to call it. You could during the off season have them be like, you could have free agents or trades or whatever, you could have like a little special show on the network or like on at Fox Sports 1 or whatever the hell, just kind of making it feel like it's actually a sport the way that they would treat like the NFL off season, the NBA off season. There's all kinds of things you could do without you could still have them on Monday and Friday night without actually even having wrestling content.
No more war rooms. No.
I'm not saying that it would be good television. I'm just saying it's something you could do.
I mean, Box, all I'm going to say is, and I feel like you'll agree with me on this one, this is another reason in my favor of all seasons. Look at what we just were subjected to. We were subjected to what? 4 or 5 months of a Roman Reigns Baron Corbin feud. Literally. And that's no exaggeration.
Which is
from October to damn near WrestleMania, those two had they had every semblance of match that you could think of.
They did. You're right. But you know what? I think a lot of those people that they'd be like, oh, I really miss Raw. I think for every one of those people, you're going to get the same amount of people going, I can live without it. Find something else on Monday nights and Friday nights to watch. Or go out. I mean, you don't know. And especially, now with the attention spans of people, I just think it's no. I would rather them cycle people out and in and make fresh matches, fresh people, bring people up from NXT more. I mean, they have fucking, how many people are on the WWE roster? 2,000-3,000? I'm exaggerating. Obviously.
I get that.
I believe that they're like a person short of being like the Wayans family.
Right. Yeah. So, but it's absolutely insanity in my opinion. I think the best way to do it though would be to cycle guys and girls, cycle talent. In and out more, and I think that would, and you'd get fresher matches, and then when they come back, you'd miss those people that were gone. Like I said, if they get hurt, they do it anyway. So why not just go ahead and do it before they get hurt? And it's like preemptive injuries.
And I know that we're just spitballing here, but I think the problem with that would be that I feel like the people who are already overexposed, your Roman Reigns and Baron Corbins and whatnot, those are going to be the people that they don't cycle out. Like, you're going to keep seeing those people over and over again. And then the people like, say, Ricochet or Dolph Ziggler or whatever, those are going to be the people that are actually only there for a couple months, which even that, you'll still get fresh matches and stuff like that. But the people that I feel like cause you to kind of lose interest in the show because they're on it all the time and nothing's changing, I feel like those people would still be there more often than not.
Possibly. I mean, it would be something that we would have to work with, and obviously they would have to, if they implemented something like that, it would have to be mandatory. They'd have to cycle out eventually. But I don't know. I don't know, man. It would be interesting to see. But I mean, like I said, sometimes they write people off with no storyline because they got hurt. Nothing you can do. They just write them off. Next thing you know, oh, they're back. Look. Oh, wow. Interesting. So trust me, there's ways they could do it. They could even make it interesting some ways. And I don't know. But I mean, listen, how many times do we sit here and say, man, that character could use a fucking break. They really could just take off like 2 months. That'd be really nice for this character. Not saying, so we've said that a ton of times about a ton of people.
All right, put it to you like this. Maybe not in all season, okay? But like looking at the current rating situation, the ratings have already been on like a steady decline for like the last 15, 20 years, right?
Right.
And now with everything's going on now, and they're really starting to bottom out. Now, obviously, you don't want to be too hard on them right now just because of extenuating circumstances. But who's to say that once things get back to normal, that these numbers don't become the new normal? Because these shows, like I said, we can sit back and say it's the circumstances. People are watching the news. They're not worried about wrestling. But the people that are watching these shows, like us, is it fair to say that they're doing more harm than good? Just because so much is lost from not having a crowd there. And let's be honest, a lot of people are looking goofy, still trying to, like, you're playing to non-existent crowd. It's really kind of exposing how goofy wrestling can be without a crowd to play off of. And that's making a lot of things unnecessarily awkward. And it's like you might end up losing more people once things get back to normal based on what you're putting out there now, content-wise.
Maybe, but probably not, because people are still going to watch. As long as it's on, the habitual watchers will watch no matter what. Let's face it. Some of us have been watching this since 1993. That's a hard habit to break, my friend. So, I don't know, man. I don't know if they're... yeah, like I said, they're having bad ratings. But, they've gone through this before. Then they skyrocket for something, and I don't know. Maybe WrestleMania will be a good bump for them this weekend. We'll have to find out more this weekend. We will. Yeah, we will.
It's not going to come out, but I'm actually curious about how the payoffs are going to work out this year for guys, because man, maybe that's another reason why guys are like pulling out. Like, the fuck am I working for this year?
Could be.
Because you got to figure, like, a lot of people, let's be honest, from your Roman Reigns all the way down to your Kurt Hawkins, a lot of people build their financial year around WrestleMania season. Mm-hmm. So right now, there's no gate to go off of. So that means literally everything is going to be up to the discretion, going to be left to the discretion of Vince McMahon on this one. Yeah. So I'm very curious about how guys are going, because normally you figure they take into account the gate, what they make at the gate, what they make off of merchandise, what they make off concessions. All of that shit is out the window. Mm-hmm. So that means Vince is basically going to be going in his pocket and paying these people this year. Well, so I'm wondering how that's going to work out.
Well, listen, at least they know that check's going to clear. I don't know.
Yeah, but but you know what I mean. Those checks are. I'm sure he's going to take. Obviously, I'm not ignorant. I know the guys that are going to be taking care of your Takers, your Ortons, those guys are going to be taken care of. But as you go further down the card, I'm very curious about what those guys are going to be making. Especially because I'm assuming they're not going to have because of the whole social distancing thing. You're not going to have a battle royal this year.
No,
where you would just fit everybody into that would be their WrestleMania moment. That's going to be out the window. This is going to be the most streamlined WrestleMania we've had in quite a long time. Which, all due respect to the Zack Ryders and Kurt Hawkins of the world, I am very much happy for.
Yeah,
but
go ahead, Smart.
No, I mean I was just going to say you would think so, but at the same time, it's 2 days. So I feel like there's going to be a lot of fucking filler. I don't know what that filler is going to look like, but I honest to God would not. I'm not, like I said it joking that we're going to get Fred Durst in his fucking living room, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if they tried to have a concert via Skype or just something like that. There's going to be quite a bit of time, I think, that is just killed, and there's going to be a lot of empty calories in terms of viewing content, because they're saying it's supposed to start at 7 both days. That doesn't include there's probably going to be a pre-show at 5 for both nights, so there's going to be a lot of time.
Oh yeah, our season box, they're going to do I don't know if you heard this, Smart. Each night is going to have an hour pre-show.
That's not terrible considering the past couple of years.
Maybe we'll skip
I still don't want to watch it. But...
Yeah, we'll see what happens with all that.
That's going to be hilarious. Renee Young and Booker T live from wherever they live at.
Yeah, it's going to be great. But I guess we will definitely be finding out this weekend. Like I said, we are going to talk WrestleMania predictions Friday. We are also going to be talking the New Jack thing Friday. We may just skip talking SmackDown and NXT altogether and do that. Who knows? But on that note, guys, you got anything else, or can we go ahead and wrap up?
I actually have a fun clip. We can play it on Friday, but
all right.
Ryback actually made some good. He actually broke down the process of how downside guarantee work, downside contract work. With regards to the Revival.
So is he? So he's saying Braun's a liar, basically.
In a matter of speaking.
Okay, yeah.
He basically, remember how it came out a few weeks ago about how the Revival are not getting paid. People lost their shit. So basically, the gist of what he said was, let's just say you have a $250,000 contract on your deal. That's your deal, right? So, say the company, you hit that figure by, say, month 8. According to Ryback, at that point, they don't have to pay you for, the next 4 months. Until your deal expires. Because they've met your contract for the year.
Okay, you should be able to live off $250,000.
Yeah. So, say basically whatever you sign on for, if the company pays you that amount, let's just say 6 months in, they don't got to pay you for the next 6 months because they've honored their commitment to you.
All right, I got it.
So when people say, "Oh, they're sitting at home not getting paid," no, they've been paid their deal.
Yeah, they're sitting at home already paid.
Yeah,
right. So
and I just I'm gonna hopefully I had a clip ready for us to play on Friday so we can really kind of delve deep into it. But I wanted to put that out there because a lot of people were coming to WWE sideways, and how can you sit those guys at home bro? They're sitting home paid. They're not living hand to mouth. I mean, I don't know how they handle their finances, but if they're making hypothetically $250,000, they should be living well, even not getting paid for 4 months.
Yeah, I would definitely say so. But we'll definitely get into that Friday, guys. All right, go ahead and fucking take this shit home. Once again, shout out to Wrestling OD, the Wrestling Overdose. That is Shaheen over there. Check out his Patreon, patreon.com/Wrestling Overdose. Check him out at nuclearheatshop.com and at, clotheslinedmedia.com and chairshottees.com. Check them out, all those places. You'll find something you like, I guarantee it. And check out the High Marks, Cheeseman, Mojo, and G Wiz over there, and Bobby Anthem and Bobby Blades on the Inhuman Experience. That's one you definitely want to check out there. And Unscripted Wrestling Podcast, Eric, Doug, and Daniel. Find both of those shows on the usual podcast platforms. And, of course, Stephen Milan, appreciate you sharing the show, buddy. Letterboxd, boxd.com/Stephen Milan, 2 L's in Milan. And once again, subscribe, rate, review, follow. Anthony, go for it.
Bottom Line Pro Wrestling Podcast. Homie Jason Clark. Subscribe to him, download, share. Available on iHeart, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and wherever fine podcasts can be heard. We will see you this Friday.
Damn
New
right.
Jack. A lot of good shit. WrestleMania. Tune in.
Yeah.
Mixler.com/Dirt Cheap Dudes.
There you go. I got a feeling the New Jack talk is going to be better than WrestleMania talk. Anyway, we will definitely see you guys Friday. Anthony, Smart, see you guys Friday. Chat room, appreciate y'all joining us tonight. Like I said, I'm glad we can keep on doing this. And we will see y'all Friday. See ya.
Peace.
Hey, bartender, last call. Give one drink to all in all.